नमस्कार। ग्रेट मैन इंटरनेशनल स्कूल की ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं। कोविड-19 महामारी के इस दौर में मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि आपका परिवार पूरी तरह सुरक्षित है, स्वस्थ है और बच्चों ने लॉकडाउन में बहुत एंजॉय किया है। अब मैं आपका सपोर्ट चाहता हूं। इस ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में बच्चों की शिक्षा को हम अब स्टार्ट करते हैं और बहुत ही जल्द जो भी आपका बैकलॉग है हम उसको क्लियर भी करेंगे और एक नए तरीके से आपकी शिक्षा अब स्टार्ट होने वाली है। पेरेंट्स का हमें पूरा सपोर्ट चाहिए। आप लोग पिछले 10 सालों से लगातार हमें सपोर्ट करते आए हैं और मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि अगर हम और आप मिलकर चाहेंगे तो बच्चों की शिक्षा का कोई नुकसान नहीं होने वाला है और हमें और आपको मिलकर अब एक रीस्टार्ट करना है। नाउ लेट्स रीस्टार्ट। बेस्ट ऑफ लक। नमस्कार।
Hello scholars, how are you all? I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy at home. During this long lockdown for COVID-19 pandemic, I know the schools are closed, but the learning is not, of course. So here we are the teachers to help you with e-learning. I know it can be challenging for both teachers as well as scholars, but if we hold hands together, we can make this e-learning a successful one. So this is grade 9, day 1, English, poem 1, The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. This poem deals with the dilemmas that man's face in life. Here the poet has made a fascinating use of two roads as a metaphor for life. The two roads stands for the choices we make in life, and he combines the rustic simplicity with hidden, indirect and implied meaning in the poem. He comes upon in a fork in the path in the woods. It is autumn and the leaves are turning green to yellow. He looks down on both path as he is unsure which path to take. So he would like to take both, but that is not possible. So he looks down for the path that is grassy, more grassy, and he feels that that is not walked on by traveler more, but he regrets. Later on he regrets and he reflects on how he plans to come back or return someday in the future to take the road not taken, but suspects that he probably would not be able to do so. So instead he hopes that he'll share his experience and choices that completely changed his life, whether for worse or better. So let's start with the first stanza. The two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood. Here the poet informs the reader that there are two roads at the fork in the woods. He adds that the forest is yellow because it is autumn time, and at this time the trees shed their leaves, and by setting the poem in the autumn, in the woods in the autumn, he creates a sense of silence and melancholy is a gloomy state of mind. So here the poet shows regret for not being able to choose both the path, as it is not possible at the same time. He stands at the cross road for a long time and try and decide the path he should follow. Let's move on to the next stanza. And looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Here the poet looked down on one of the roads as far as his vision could reach. He could see only as far as the path took a bend at the thick undergrowth. See, at this point, let us think about the metaphorical meaning of the poem. Let us assume that the road represents decision we make and the fork represents the choices we have in life. And the undergrowth, as you can see in the line above given, the undergrowth shows the uncertainties in life. The poet is at the crossroad of his life and not on the actual road. So he could be trying seeing to further ahead into the future, but he is unable to. So he has to be cautious in his choice. The poet makes his decision. Since both the path seems to be similar, he will take the other. The poet says that it appears similar to him. The roads are similar in appearance. So both the roads are equally good. So both the roads are equally good. So the choices may also be equally good, he feels. So in the above lines, the poet tries to justify his decision that the path he has chosen is good because it is grassy and it is not walked on more by travelers. Therefore, this road needed to be used and worn out too. Let's move on to the next stanza. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. On the second thought, the speaker feels that maybe both the road seems less walked on, and as for that, you can see in the first line given, as for that refers to the path less walked on. So here the poet is again expressing the confusion that going on in his mind to make the final choice. So the hesitation in taking a decision and as the prospects offered by trading either of the roads seem to be similar. Passing there means travelers taking the path for their journey. So here the poet is again confused which path to choose, and let's move on to the next stanza. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Once again the poet says the road seems equal but with a difference. Here the speaker gives us a new information that it is morning and both the road seems covered with the leaves and that no traveler has walked the way. He comes to this conclusion that because of the fallen leaves are not crushed by the footsteps and thus not darkened. The morning may also be analyzed as the poet starts from the very beginning and realizes that there is no change with regard to the clarity in the situation. It continued to be as confusing as it was earlier. The poet seems to be regretting his decision already, as I told you earlier. The sentence is emphatic as it starts with oh and ends with an exclamation, as you can see. Oh, I kept the first for another day. He strongly feels that he would take the other road to know what it had in store, since he already knew that what was on the road taken. So metaphorically in life, we rethink about our choices, but it is not very easy to revert back the clock. So metaphorically in life, we rethink about our choices, but it is not easy to revert back the clock as time and tides wait for none. So next, let's start with the next line. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. The poet realizes he may never be able to return to take the road not taken, for he understands that in the journey of life we may come across many roads and we may make fresh decisions and choices. So in all practicality, it may not be feasible to start fresh, especially in the later part of the life. So it's not easy to come back and to restart the things in life. Once the decision is taken, we cannot make a fresh start. It is difficult in the future to come back. As I already told, time and tides wait for none. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. This stanza is entirely written in future tense, like I shall, as you can see. Here the poet hopes to talk of the decision taken years later with a sigh. The sigh may be sad, may be happy or reflective. Means sometimes the decision completely changes our life, maybe for better or for worse. So here the sigh may be sad, happy or for reflective, whatever it may be, but it would definitely have a difference in his life. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I. This line is a repetition of the first line with the conclusion, with the exclusion of yellow and an inclusion of and I with a dash, and I shows the speaker is like I, after I it is there is a dash, as you can see. So it shows the speaker is hesitant of the future. The repetition helps to bring the poem to a close. That means it brings the poem to a close. I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Here the poet confidently informs of his decision. He had dared to take the road that many feared to tread. So he says that he confidently has made choices in life, and he dared to take the road, or he dared to take that path which none of them had taken, and many have feared to tread on it. This is an indication that poet was adventurous and of independent thought. However, the concluding line gives us a feeling that the choice he took has definitely made a significant impact in his life. So here he shows that this line shows here that whatever choices he has made in life has made difference in his life, and definitely had a significant impact in his life. So this concludes the poem. Here the metaphor used in the line 1, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, is a metaphor where two roads are implicitly compared with the ways of life. Line 3 and line 4, and be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, is anaphora. Line 8, if you see, because it was a grassy and wanted where, the grassy path wanted where, the wanting is a human need. So it's so the poetic device used here is a personification. Line 17, if you see, the poetic device used here is alliteration. Somewhere ages and age hence. Here ages and ages is an example of alliteration. Okay. So here the word E is used. If you see line 12, in leaves no step had trodden black. There is an example of imagery. The rhyme scheme of the poem is AB, AAB. So I hope you understood the poem well. I'll be sharing the notes in the description box with some extra practice question which you need to frame in your notebook. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.